All right, guys. Well, welcome to another training video. Today, we're going to be talking about specifically what's a commoditized service in the agency slash consulting space, and what is an uncommoditized service that's in the online business realm. To give you guys a little bit more context, my name is Amr Buller. I'm the CEO and founder of our consulting company that we've launched. Essentially, it's called AI Agency Accelerator. And essentially, I have built and sold my own real estate marketing advertising agency where we basically, grossed around, I'd say well over $1 million in cash collected, through our channel of providing real estate agents specific advertising and sales acquisition systems through lead gen, traffic, and our outbound call centers as well too to help them book more appointments. And through that time frame, me specifically, I've accumulated a tremendous amount of experience and insights that has kind of got me to understand a little bit more in regards to where the next 5 to 10 years of agency and consulting services are heading, and where it is right now, and what allowed me to actually make an informed decision to opt out from selling traditional boxed agency services, or what I want to call commoditized service as well too, and essentially going towards something that is a lot more turnkey and allows me to actually create a lot more throughput for the companies and businesses that we're consulting and helping. So long story short, what I'm going to do is actually go ahead and share my screen over here, and we're going to get right into it, and as to why you need to actually start selling turnkey AI infrastructures as opposed to a traditional boxed agency service, which is simply either social media marketing, either running some traffic advertising via LinkedIn or YouTube or Meta, and just providing a standardized service for the businesses that you're focusing on, and not actually just providing one effort in one specific department, which is going to create a lot of inconsistencies and ultimately churn. So long story short, if you're watching this video, I'm sure that you've probably either seen some of our previous trainings as well too. But as you know, AI is the next big revolution. And right now, as we're speaking, in 2025, we're actually right at the cusp in the beginning of this revolution. And a lot of businesses are currently adapting and or either implementing these strategies and specific systems into their companies as we speak. And as online business owners, of course, we're traditionally using, media buying, traffic, lead generation tactics and different types of funnels, or even talent that we place to help us sell more services online for either our clients or for ourselves as well. And what I've realized, just to give you guys some of my personal insights, in the beginning of my career as a beginner agency owner, I saw Tai Lopez's here in my garage advertisement, and I was driving a dump truck at that time, and I simply wanted to change. So again, just like anybody, I was skeptical, but also interested. And that skepticism led to, filling a gap of actually allowing me to get more information. And long story short, I took the bait, joined the program, and it was the best opportunity for me at that time. Long story short, within the last 5 years, we've made a well over $1 million in cash collected with our real estate advertising agency, and it was by far the best experience that I've ever gained. Running operating teams and scaling with, multiple clients, and learning so much about, the brick and mortar aspect about business. One thing I will say is, if you are a beginner agency owner, or you're looking to actually start your own AI agency now in 2025 moving forward, I highly recommend that you do not provide cookie cutter services that are just one dimensional. And what I mean by that is, just before we go into this actual little workflow or little chart that I created here, I want to give you guys a little bit more context. So what we did at our real estate advertising agency is specifically provide our real estate agents, professionals, booked and qualified appointments on their calendar. Okay. And how we did this is we had an offshore call center in the Philippines with great virtual assistants, which again, I think they're still fantastic. You should still use them. But now with our specific channels of running traffic and actually going through our funnels and specifically having our virtual assistants book these appointments, we realized, or I specifically realized when I started out in the space in 2021 or 20 and starting 2022, essentially there was like almost nobody in the market providing this specific solution to realtors. The first year we made a decent amount of money. I think we probably did around maybe close to $100,000 in cash collected. It was my first year in business, but moving forward, we started to scale rapidly, and we were hitting 30, 40, 50, even $60,000 per month plus. And essentially through that process, what I realized that every year, the offers started to get more and more saturated. And what I realized was that almost everybody was offering the same, traditional lead generation framework, which is, traffic to a landing page to either appointment setters, right? And what I realized is that it became very competitive. A lot of business owners, specifically realtors, were becoming extremely numb to this offer. And I'm sure it's not just realtors, a lot of different people in various niches that are, in various service providing businesses start to get extremely numb with the same offer being presented by agency owners. And I made a very conscious decision last year to simply just turn the switch off with my agency. Again, my business was producing and pumping around $30,000 to $40,000 net profit every single month. I know that's not a lot of money for people that are probably creating a lot of volume, doing 100 to even 1 million a month. But if you are just simply trying to break through your 9 to 5 career, or you're simply just trying to make $10,000 a month, you really need to listen to this right now. So through that time that I was actually developing my offer and improving it, I realized that there was not a lot of other things that I could add on to this. And consciously, I made a decision to shut down that agency and simply repivot and analyze where I need to head to next. Through that process, the AI boom was definitely around the corner, and it was definitely getting a lot more prominent. And we start to see a lot of the traditional agency services starting to have these different frameworks or different softwares that are being embedded into the solution. So what happened was this. With my specific agency, what we provide was a commoditized, cookie cutter solution. That's what I want to call it. We did pretty good for our clients, but I felt like we were just providing a lot of thrust in one department and led other departments falling short, which put a lot of pressure on our client to actually deal with the volume and the expectations of the service we were providing, which created a lot of churn and a lot of inconsistencies. But I'll walk you through the actual chart so you guys can actually understand a little bit more in regards to what I mean. So if you have come from the agency space and you've tried to do this, or you're already doing this right now, and you're finding that a lot of your clients are not keeping up with the service that you're providing them, and you're not able to get your invoices paid, or your recurring retainers or your revenue through your services, is because there's inconsistency with the service you're providing. So essentially, with a lot of agency owners, they either deal with one or out of the four of these specific things, which is either lead gen, a booking call funnel, either some form of content strategy. Some of you are still doing the traditional social media marketing strategies as well, or you're an agency that provides talent, either appointment setters or closers. And what I realize is that if you're an agency that's just providing one out of four of these or three of these things, essentially what you're doing is you're ramping up just one department for the business. A lot of businesses essentially don't need one specific area to be ramped up. In order for a business to find that it actually gets to the next phase, or the next layer or evolution in the stage that they're at within their company, you need to understand that there are multiple departments in a business, right? you have your marketing, your advertising, and then you have your client acquisition, and then you have your client fulfillment departments. And then you have this entire ecosystem that needs to be developed. But a lot of agencies, what they do is that they just simply focus on, one department. Specifically us, we were really, really aggressive on ramping up client acquisition. Okay. We were providing a really high amount of appointments for our clients. And what that resulted in them actually experiencing was not a lot of time to actually follow up or show up to the appointments that we sent them. They had absolutely no time to commit to the infrastructures that we built them. There was little to no time to educate them on the actual, pipeline, that we developed for them, or the virtual assistants that we deployed into their company. And what that led to was a lot of thrust in one department and leaving all the other departments underdeveloped. Okay. And what I call that is a single impact service. And essentially that can get you so far. That can get you between ten to maybe $40,000 per month, but with a lot of churn and a lot of inconsistency. But what you're essentially doing is you're providing a lot of pressure on one single department, and it looks like you're providing results, but in reality, what you're doing is you're creating a mess inside these small businesses. And what you're also doing is you're burning cash and resources for these companies that either have to spend too much time with following up with unqualified leads, spending too much money on advertising channels that aren't actually converting for them. And what that's going to do is it's going to create churn. It's going to keep them buying not just your service, but they're going to churn from your service, and then they're going to go to another agency owner and be like, hey, I had a bad experience. And then they're going to keep going down this consistent rabbit hole of blowing their money. And essentially what they're doing is they're not understanding that the business needs a turnkey solution. It needs an infrastructure. It needs someone. It needs someone to develop a pillars in different systems and throughputs into various departments, so the entire business actually ramps up, as opposed to just one single department. So now, as you guys kind of understand a little bit more in regards to this entire flow, let's actually go into the AI build and deployment infrastructure that is allowing me to now not just charge traditionally as I was before, anywhere between maybe $1,000 to maybe $3,000 upfront, to now charging anywhere between $7,000 to $15,000 upfront, and plus a continuity, which is a monthly maintenance fee of anywhere between $500 to $1,500 per month. Okay. And you're probably thinking, what is this guy talking about? And how is that even possibly done? Okay. So I'm going to go into it right now, and it's going to be essentially an evolution of the same service that you're providing, but you're going to be using AI, artificial intelligence, to actually create a lot more value and a lot more results on a consistent basis, right? With virtual assistants, what I found is that we were able to provide, value for maybe the first week, or maybe the first 2-3 weeks. But what happened is when the VAs got tired and they realized that some of the accounts had gotten a lot of appointments, they got lazy. They didn't show up to work sometimes. Sometimes they booked unqualified appointments. And there's just a lot of error with humans. And what I realized is that replacing the 16 virtual assistants that we had in the virtual Philippines only took 48 hours. We had an AI agent, right, that was completely developed through our LLMs. So we took all of our appointments that we booked for our clients, and we basically programmed our own exclusive AI agent that basically represents real estate agents. And we programmed it through our LLM, which is specifically now allowing, the AI agent to book 10 times more appointments with 10 times less the time frame. So just for real instance, and maybe I can include a snapshot somewhere, our AI agent booked one of our real estate agents 7 appointments on their calendar from only calling for 60 minutes. Okay, 60 minutes. Our virtual assistants usually took maybe 2 weeks to maybe a week and a half on one account to book that much. So you can almost tell the difference between value, cost, and results versus having real humans do the work. Again, this is just one idea or variation of how to actually do this, but bridging back to what I'm talking about now, um, when you're building and deploying an infrastructure as opposed to just a standardized line or one service. Essentially, what you're doing is now you're ramping up all the departments. So essentially, the type of AI infrastructure that we are deploying right now, just for instance, we're still also servicing, service-based businesses, right? Like insurance, contractors, spas, clinics. We're just generally targeting the brick and mortar businesses that are, again, being also targeted by the traditional AI, agency owners as well. And we're providing them not a service, but an infrastructure now. So essentially, I'll give you the idea of what it is exactly. So essentially, we're providing our real estate professionals a complete ecosystem and an entire infrastructure that allows them to hold their data and their pipeline and have one singular AI agent that knows how to follow up with cold, warm, and really, really interested leads. Okay. So we've basically programmed this AI or this AI agent, and we've given it very specific workflows that allows it to not just be a singular throughput of service, but actually someone that has an actual intent to completely mature and develop a pipeline. And what we've also done is we've given our client the infrastructure, which is allowing the traffic, which is again media buying, of course, and we've taken away all the grit and the pain of doing all of the advertisement in person and shooting the ads, and everything is traditionally done through AI now. So now you have ads that are being produced by AI within, I'd say, less than maybe even 30 to 20 minutes. You can just program a script through, ChatGPT, feed it, and you can use a bunch of our referred partners as well too that actually allow you to create these AI ads. And through that process, now you're actually building an entire infrastructure, okay, a pipeline that is going to allow to hold the data that's going to be coming through, and also allowing your clients to drop their existing data into this one ecosystem. So now this ecosystem can be in Go High level, it can be in various different types of CRMs or what you will have it. But the reality is it doesn't require multiple humans. It requires one AI agent that's being programmed to actually manage this entire workflow. Okay. Which in reality, monthly, that costs thousands and thousands of dollars to have, an operations manager or have like an agency on retainer to do that. And now AI is pretty much just built and deployed once. And now it's basically covering you the expense of having to spend that money every month to have someone manage that. So let's talk about what the difference is between providing just a singular, service as opposed to now a build and deployment. So what we've done now is we're not just turning over leads and then basically running dry for our business and then not having them have more leads coming through and appointments. We've basically mapped out the entire ecosystem. So now we're basically getting them a unlimited amount of traffic and leads coming in through our AI ads that we've created them, which require minimal, next to no effort, and we do it for them. And then second, we deploy an appointment setter, basically that's almost 4 to 5, 10 times better than an actual human, doesn't get tired, doesn't mess up, and actually sticks to the script and does almost 5 to 10,000 calls per day in capacity. So again, a juggernaut level of actual throughput. And through this process, we completely ramp up the entire business. Why? Because now the founders and the sales team can focus on one thing, which is showing up to calls, consultations, or Zoom calls, and simply providing value in closing deals. Okay? What businesses need are consistent inputs through each and every single department. And with what I realized, which is why I had to shut down my agency that was again producing almost $500,000 for me every year, I had to shut that down because I found that I wasn't able to provide the highest level of service for my clients. They did not stick with me. They paid us for a couple of months, and most of them just realized that they couldn't afford to keep going through because there were a lot of inconsistencies and peaks and valleys because of our virtual assistant team that was, again, just simply human, right? But now with building and deploying AI-based infrastructures into service-based businesses, it allowed us to create consistent, consistent inputs in each and every single department, which allowed, again, the founders and executives and partners to make informed decisions on exactly how to scale, right? Because if you're having consistent inputs through all of your businesses and all of your departments, guess what? When you're actually looking at insights and you're making decisions every month or quarter on whether you need to cut talent, bring in talent, ramp up ad spend, it's easy to do that. Okay? Long story short, through this process, you're going to have clients actually want to pay you every single month because they want to make sure that this system that has been deployed or this infrastructure that's been deployed into their business can have congruency and stays on. Okay. So what that means is that you get your $7,000 to $15,000 upfront payment because now you're just actually building an entire infrastructure for this business. You're not just running ads or posting 10 or 15 reels. You're actually giving them a real flow of how they can produce more appointments or cash on autopilot leveraging AI, which is everything right now. Okay. And this is going to also allow you, like I said, to charge not just a one-time payment, but something that is so beautiful, which is called MRR, continuity. And if you can charge this, and once you get really good, and we'll show you how to do it, if you guys really like the stuff that we're sharing here, you guys can click subscribe and also watch our full training, which we'll clip at the top of our YouTube channel as well. But long story short, if you are looking for something that is consistent and allows you to actually look at your business and your agency with a linear line, then you're going to understand that you don't want to be in the commoditized section. And if you look at this chart right over here, essentially, if you are providing a cookie cutter service, that means that you're providing subpar value, and that means that you're only going to be able to charge a subpar price. But if you are stretching your value to the very end, which is, in my opinion, is building an infrastructure, that's the biggest thing that you can do for a business, is give it a one-time infrastructure that allows it to scale infinitely to the desire that they feel that they can get to by increasing one input, and then it basically creates a whole domino effect with the entire system that you've created. It allows you to charge insane prices. And $15,000 is actually, I think, in my opinion, probably on the lower end. I know people are charging 20, 30, maybe even $100,000 to deploy infrastructures for not small businesses, but for companies like Salesforce, Stripe, Meta, insurance companies that are doing 10 to $100 million a year. They will pay you. And if you're good at what you do and you understand exactly what it means to build systems and infrastructures in 2025, leveraging AI, then you're definitely going to be printing a lot of money. And if this got me to shut down my, advertising and marketing agency for real estate, that was, I was allowed to put around $25,000 to $30,000 in my pocket every month. And I felt like I needed to shut it down because I saw a trend and I saw insights that allowed me to understand that I'm under leveraging myself. I'm providing subpar services to my clients and I can do much better. And now we're here simply giving it away for free. So, if you liked exactly what we've shared here on this call today, you can actually book an implementation call with me so you can learn our exact strategies and frameworks. Will help you pick your niche and offer. We'll actually give you our licensing models for our AI callers and proprietary softwares as well too. And most importantly, we'll help you build a actual a sales machine that allows you to jump on calls, close them, and charge a ridiculous amount of monies up front, and it will also help you fulfill them as well. So if you feel like that's something that you are leaning towards doing and you want to get some more information on how to actually crack it, you can book a free implementation call, and I will most likely see you on the other side, and I'll give you a tremendous amount of value. And if you're a good fit, we'll figure out how to work with you. If not, you'll leave the call with tremendous amount of value. Nonetheless, we hope that you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the second training. Peace.